In the body temple, 50 trillion Holy of Holies, because the nucleus of every cell holds the message that tells you who you are. You're God eternal within the body. God eternal within the body. And the message is exactly the same, no matter what gender you identify with, no matter what your sex, no matter what color of your skin, no matter what your religion. If you are a human, a pure human, you are God eternal within the body. And when we replace our biology with synthetics and technology, we lose that message. And you lose it in one generation, and the next generation begins to forget, and pretty soon we have a species that is lost and has no idea who we are. Our technology is valuable to use outside of our bodies. There's something so ancient and powerful and sacred and precious about this soft technology, this temple. And you need look no further. When you forget who you are, you need look no further than the 50 trillion cells that you carry in your body across this earth with every step you take. You are God eternal within the body. God eternal within the body, and it's the same for everyone. So what does that mean? What does that mean for us? It might take a while for this to sink in. I know it's a lot of information in a brief period of time. That's why I wrote the book. In 2004, I released another book called The God Code. The whole book is about this message. That was the year that I published, so it's 21 years ago. Actually, it was my first book with Hay House. My first Hay House book is called The God Code, and the entire book is about this message. Chapter 2 in the book that you have details this message. What does it mean? We've covered a lot of ground today. A lot of ground. And what I want to do is we close this part of the program out. I'd like us once again to close our eyes to really embody the power of this message. We're talking about human divinity, what gives us the right to express God-like powers of love and forgiveness in this world. What gives us the right is that we are God eternal within the body. And those that want to replace our bodies with synthetics, when they do that, they deny us access to our divinity. And I want you to think about that. I want you to consider it, not judge it, not be angry about it, but just know we're on the verge of giving away our humanness to technology before we even know fully what it means to be human. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes one last time. Close your eyes. Just gently touch your heart center to communicate with the power of our hearts. We don't have to do the full coherence. I'm inviting you to be in your heart just for this message. 200,000 years ago, the first of our kind emerged mysteriously, appeared on this earth, and our ancient ancestor was given the gift that set them apart from all other forms of life. We know that gift today is the gift of biology, DNA. The biology and the DNA that gave them God-like powers. And those powers, they're with us today. They're still locked into the genetic code. It gives us human life and it gives us human divinity. Something that was given to no other form of life. 10,000 generations ago, our ancestors were deceived into surrendering their divinity to the power of fear. And there are all kinds of books and texts that describe how that happened and why it happened. The point is that our divinity is still with us today. 10,000 generations later, we stand today at the crossroads. Once again, we're being asked to surrender our divinity to technology, of surrendering our bodies our very humanness, the vessel that carries our divinity. We are the generation that will choose whether or not we are the last generation of pure humans that this world will ever know. The last generation to access our divinity in the way that we were given so long ago. To reclaim our divinity, we're invited to embrace our humanness. We cannot separate the two and accept the power and the responsibility that comes through our human divinity. And it's this message in ourselves that reminds us of our heritage and our purpose and even our destiny. Our destiny to live our humanness to the fullest extent. To love this world into peace. To love this world into peace. We are God eternal within the body. And that's what gives us that right. So now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions as we close this part of our program today. Once again, as you touch your heart, I invite you to say the words, my heart. My heart, do I love myself enough to accept the message that I carry in my body? My heart, do I love myself enough to live the truth of my divinity in a world that doesn't always support that truth? That's where the workshop begins. To live your truth, the best version of yourself, to love fearlessly, to forgive without expectation, to imagine, to innovate, to create, to share in a world that sometimes denies those abilities. Do you love yourself enough to live that in your everyday life? My heart. My heart, what is that ancient wound that I carry in this lifetime that's asking for a greater healing? What is the wound that I've given my power away to in exchange to conform in this world, to feel safe and to be successful? You gave that wound a name earlier. Now I'm going to invite you to call that wound to you, whatever name you gave it. I'm going to ask, how do you now meet your ancient wound, not as a fearful human, but as God eternal within the body? How do you meet the wound of your sense of worth, of your sense of healing, of your ability to love and forgive, or the feeling that all of that has been denied? How do you meet that? Through the power of God eternal within the body. Whatever that answer is, allow it to come to you. This is one of those beautiful places where science and spirituality, real world events all merge into a single knowing. I'm going to invite you now to take one more breath if you haven't already. Inhale. And as you release that breath, gently begin to open your eyes. I wish you could see all the God eternals within the body that I'm looking at here because you look beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I know we've covered a lot of ground. I know some of it's new and some of it is very familiar. I know some of it is a very different way of thinking. And I invited you this morning to put it all into a file folder in your mind called possibilities, because that makes it safe to explore anything, just a possibility. My sense is that through this year and in the next 5 years, you and I are going to see the attempts to remake this world, and they can't do it unless they remake our bodies. my hope, my goal was to give you a deeper sense of appreciation for the gift of your body in this world. And once again, maybe even a sense of pride. I'm immensely proud to walk as a human on this earth. I believe that we're valuable. I believe we're worth preserving. I believe that pure humans are worth preserving. Through our divinity, we triumph in the ancient struggle between good and evil. Remember, the goal of evil is to deny our divinity. So without fighting back, by simply moving forward and living the best version of ourselves in all the ways that we've talked about, loving fearlessly, forgiving without expectation, empathizing with our brothers and sisters who are having a really hard time in the world right now, sympathize, compassion. The healing of your own body is only possible as you accept your own personal divinity. It's through accepting those abilities that we triumph. We don't win, we triumph in this battle between good and evil. I think probably our highest form of mastery is to protect the vessel that holds the message, God eternal within the body. Our highest mastery to preserve and protect this vessel. And I want you to think back to this day and think back to this book and the time we've shared together. When the marketing campaigns coerce you and indoctrinate you and persuade you and lure you into replacing the gift of your humanness with that technology, I'm not going to tell you it's right, wrong, good, or bad. I just want you to know what it means, and I want you to know what the consequences are of doing that. Through our divinity, we triumph in the struggle between good and evil. My goal in this day was to awaken a confidence within you to accept the invitation. What invitation is that? It's your invitation. You're standing at the precipice of a doorway. That door is opening in front of you to step into the world that's emerging as the best version of yourself. That means something has to change in your life. That means that you have to think differently about yourself in the presence of the world that's emerging, not the world that has been. That's my goal.